We have all heard of Nike, Apple, and Coca-Cola. They are huge brands. In the world of white wine, the grape with the biggest brand is probably Chardonnay. From Italy to New Zealand, South Africa to Japan, almost wherever grapes are planted, you will find Chardonnay vines. And nearly everyone who drinks wine will have heard of Chardonnay. Maybe because it's easy to pronounce. Let's make sure you know how. Chardonnay. You try. Good evening, madam. Can I suggest a glass of Chardonnay to go with your meal? Even though Chardonnay grows all over the planet, its home is in Burgundy, France, where these grapes are turned into some of the finest and most expensive and complex white wines around. Even though this is Chardonnay's home, as a brand it is much bigger than just Burgundy. As usual, we are going to look at the climate and soil Chardonnay prefers, before understanding how the grape is handled in the cellar, what Chardonnay tastes like, and what foods best pair with it. Let's look briefly at how climate and soil affects Chardonnay. Chardonnay buds and ripens early. This means in cooler climates, frost can be a problem in the spring, and cool and wet weather can damage the vines during flowering. In cool climates, Chardonnays are produced with what is known as steely flavors. This means more obvious acidity and a stony or mineral flavor profile rather than fruity. Early budding and ripening allow warmer climates to also produce good Chardonnay because the grapes can be picked before the summer temperatures get too hot. The problem in warmer climates is Chardonnay's acidity can drop too low in the later stages of ripening. If it gets too hot, the grapes will get overripe and the wines will be too fat and flabby, with too much sweetness and not enough acidity. In these warmer climates, sites that allow for cooler temperatures and less direct sunlight are important to allow the grapes to ripen fully. Soil plays an important part in growing good Chardonnay grapes, but it's difficult to say which soil is best, as the variety adapts incredibly well to many different places. Combinations of limestone, clay, and chalk are regarded as best for Chardonnay, as this is what is found in Burgundy. Limestone soils generally produce tighter mineral wines. Clay produces wines with more weight and depth, and chalky soil promotes acidity and freshness. Chardonnay is known for vigorous growth. This means that if it is planted in high vigor soils with lots of nutrients, the vine can grow too quickly and the grapes will lack flavor. So we can say that Chardonnay generally needs low vigor soils with good drainage in cool to moderate climates to produce full flavored grapes. Interestingly, a Chardonnay grape does not have huge amounts of obvious primary fruit flavors. If you were to taste a Chardonnay grape off the vine, you would find that it tastes quite neutral. Much of the flavor that ends up in the bottle is coaxed out in the cellar using different winemaking techniques. These techniques try to amplify, refine, or even add flavor to this rather neutral grape. Let's see how winemakers do this. Just like with Sauvignon Blanc, we can separate winemaking into Old and New World styles. We can think of Old World Chardonnay as restrained wines with subtle flavors that have been made in cooler climates. They may have subtle primary fruit flavors of limes and green apples. Oak barrels add flavors of oatmeal and a creamy, buttery texture. New World Chardonnays, generally from warmer climates, are known for primary fruit flavors of tropical fruits such as peaches, pineapple, melon, and orange. Oak barrels add flavors of toffee, caramel, spice, and toasted nuts. Let's see how these flavors are found in the cellar. In the Old World, Chardonnay is usually fermented in older oak barrels at natural temperatures of around 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. This temperature creates wines with less obvious fruity flavors, and the older oak gives a rich, nutty aroma. The wines are also left to develop in oak barrels on the lees. Occasionally, the winemaker will stir up the lees to create more of an effect. This is called batonnage. The juice of the New World style Chardonnays are fermented in cooled stainless steel tanks at lower temperatures between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius to create wine with more tropical flavors such as peaches, pineapples, and melon. This fruity wine is then aged in new oak barrels that give lots of vanilla, spice, and toffee. This style of Chardonnay is loud and bombastic, rich and full-flavored. It's a wine that shouts to let you know it's here. These are two extremes of wines. One is restrained, mineral, and less fruity, and the other is a big, rich, bold, tropical fruit salad with caramel and spice. Today, we see not only those extremes still being made, but all sorts of other combinations and variations using some of these techniques or all of them. This means it is quite difficult to define the flavor of Chardonnay, and these flavors can come from the terroir, climate, and winemaking. But generally, we can say that Chardonnays from cooler climates have flavors of green apples, lime, pears, biscuits, butter, and honey. Warmer climate Chardonnay takes on the flavors and aromas of pineapples, melons, peaches, butter, and honey. It's a crazy grape that from tasting so neutral on the vine can end up being so flavorful in the bottle. If Chardonnay was a person, she'd be famous, drive a sports car, have long blonde hair, and wear massive sunglasses. The best Chardonnays are classic film stars that seem to remain beautiful no matter how old they are. Chardonnays can age for a very long time. The best ones from Burgundy can improve for 10 to 20 years. While good wines from warmer climates can last for 5 to 15 years. Most cheaper warm climate Chardonnays, however, should be drunk young. Finally, let's look at what sorts of food pair best with Chardonnay. As Chardonnay can be fresh, mineral, and lean, all the way to rich, fruity, and spicy, there are many different options for food pairings. Whether from a cool or warm climate, Chardonnay is generally bigger and bolder in style than other wines, so it can pair well with intensely flavored white meat dishes. When smoked, go oaked. Oaky styles of Chardonnay, those that have aged for longer in the barrels or have been barrel fermented, pair wonderfully with smoked chicken, turkey, or certain types of fish. The smokiness from the barrel matches the smokiness from the food.